let's get a sense of time. You're discharged initially at 3 weeks. And assume your wife is still with you when you come home.
Yes.
Do you have any recollections of this period?
Yeah, it was very miserable. Because again, she didn't. I mean, she recognized me, but she didn't know me, and I recognized her. But I couldn't. I lost the ability of sense to this normal signals that a couple has to between each other. They were gone. And I've never been an aggressive person, so I never physically was abusive. I was kind of verbally abusive to her at that time. Kind of just things would come out, just it's like I'd be saying, I think to myself, I can't believe I just said that, and they just flew out, and nobody had any answers for that.
When we talk about amnesia, there are, there's the period before the accident, there's the period after the accident, and you've mentioned that you have some amnesia for a period of 8 months. When is your first memory after that, other than that first minute, when is your first memory after the accident?
My first solid memory, I don't know if it's still pretty much amnesia, but I did Christian camp, and that's henceforth the brain injury camp. I just did the youth, and I didn't want to let them down, and so we did this fall camp, and I shouldn't have been there, and I remember walking around, and a gal named Tony, who was in the psych ward, and I knew her. I took care of her son, and I was so glad that I didn't run into her when I was there. I remember thinking that. And she's looking at me, because she had a brain injury a couple of years previous to that. And she goes, you're going to crash, her words to me. And I looked at her like she was crazy, But I remember doing that camp, and I just remember from point A to point B, I couldn't remember what I was going for, ever. And
your accident happens what day of the year?
It was in August.
So fall camp would have been when?
Yeah, we didn't see.
What day in August?
Yeah, no, actually we did it in November, so it was a cold camp.
What was the day in August of your accident?
15th.
So when you're talking November, you're out as much as 8 weeks after the
Yeah,
wreck.
I shouldn't have been there. Yeah, I mean I'm in crutches. And
So your first island of memory after the accident is actually about 7-8 weeks post.
Almost 10 weeks. 10,
Do you
11.
remember coming home from the hospital the first time at 3 weeks?
Yeah, I remember not. I remember being glad to be out of the hospital, but I remember not being so glad to going home, because